What worlds might open? What doors, portals to other realms might be revealed before you when you meditate? That's what I want to talk about today. If you listen to this episode and enjoy it, perhaps you just take a moment to think about somebody in your life who you like and you would like to receive the same insights that you did. Maybe you send them a message and tell them why you like this episode and give them a link. Let's begin.
This is a beautiful thought.
Welcome once again to A Beautiful Thought. I'm about to present to you another beautiful thought. I want to talk to you about knowing the purpose for your meditation. I'm not talking about the specific meditation exercise that you're doing in that session, but I'm talking about more generally. I remember many years ago, I was at a party and I met this gentleman. Well, I knew this gentleman was a neighbor of my cousin, and he started talking about his faith and his religious practices. I believe this gentleman was a Sikh, and he told us how he would meditate, or rather pray, about 4 or 5 times a day and say certain prayers. And somebody asked him, well, doesn't it ever seem to you to be a chore to have to pray so many times a day? And he said, no, not at all, never. Because God gives us so much, has given us so much, continues to give us so much, that it would never seem like a chore to stop and take those moments to be grateful, to say thank you. He said it was nothing for him. And actually, I think it was more than nothing. It was actually a pleasure to do it, to enjoy that practice and remember why he's here on this earth and all the grace that has been given to him. And thinking about your purpose of the meditation. Well, the other day I recorded the episode talking about knowing the how and why, knowing the purpose behind your actions. Now, sometimes when I ask people if they're depressed or if they're anxious, if they're experiencing anxiety daily, then I ask them, what do you want? What is it that you want life to give you? Or what is it you want to achieve in your life? And sometimes they give me these answers, which, if I'm frank, I'd say they're a bit lukewarm or even mediocre, where they say stuff like, I would like to be less anxious, or I would like to be less depressed, or they say, I would like to be not depressed, which is a funny way to think about it. Because if what you want to be is not depressed, well, what is it that you do want? You're defining yourself by opposites. You're talking about moving away from something rather than moving towards something. I remember there was something from Tony Robbins where he said, a man will work 10 times as hard for $100,000 a year than he will for $50,000 a year. So for something average, or maybe a bit above average, people won't work that hard. But for something a little bit extraordinary, they will work very hard. They will apply themselves. If you think about things in terms of what you don't want, then you're kind of shutting down some avenues. Like if I said, I don't want to earn $30,000 a year. Well, how much do you want to earn? And if you don't want to be depressed, or you want to be less anxious, or you don't want to be anxious, what do you want? What do you want? And I think the real reason, and when you're writing down your goals, you can think about this. When you write down what's the purpose for your goals, you can think, what is it that I really want? Well, the reason that we meditate, to feel peace, connection with the divine, a sense of calm, happiness, joy, satisfaction, gratitude, elation, insight, among many other things. Because, to be honest, I think there's a lot of things that meditation can offer that I still haven't experienced. And we'll probably find out what those are as we go along. So I guess we could say I meditate because I want to be subjected to the mystery. I want to explore the mystery within. So this is it's a beautiful question. And what do you want? What is your purpose? What is the goal? What would success in meditation look like? You know, it's kind of a silly question because in a certain sense, when we sit down to meditate, the idea is to let go of ideas for success. And of course, we have to have this caveat about being auto-exigent or being self-demanding. So I told that story a few times about sitting out on the balcony and feeling the wonderful warm feelings of the sun and the happiness and satisfaction, still being dissatisfied because I still felt like I wasn't happy enough. So of course, when we look at our goals, if we look back outside the meditation, when we're in a more analytical mode, then it's generally a good practice to measure ourselves in terms of how far we've come rather than how far we are from the ideal. So that's important to remember. Go easy on yourselves. You're doing well. You're doing great out there. So that's what I wanted to say today. Think about the purpose. Think about what you want to move towards. Think about what your perfect life would look like, your emotions. Every day, perhaps feeling elation. Every day, perhaps waking up with a vitality for life, jumping out of bed and saying, welcome to the world, and I am welcome in this world. Maybe that's possible. And it's much more likely when we start to think that it is possible when we know our purpose. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for considering your purpose and imagining what you could be moving towards and applying yourself by knowing that purpose. Have a great day. I'll talk to you soon.
A beautiful thought.
Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing this on social media and sending to your great aunt and telling her how this is going to revitalize her life, cure her herpes, and make her feel more alive. Did I just say that? All right. Thank you. Thank you for supporting me, and thank you for listening, and thank you for enjoying this. Have a great day.